Welcome. I am so excited that everyone is here today to give you some really great insight on the IProNetwork and how to really expand. Now, first, before I get going, there's so much to cover because it's not just about doing one thing. And I think this is the challenge. Now, I know that these things work because I've been training people for a gazillion years. But even better than that, I've got one that will even top all of that. I've been training my husband. I know, right? So if my husband can learn, then anybody can. Yay, Michael! So he had a really aha moment the other day because he was talking to people and he wasn't getting any results. So y'all probably have that experience, right? You talk to somebody and they are like, oh no, and you're like, oh no, yeah, it's not really what I'm really interested in. So you get that kind of and you're like, what am I doing? And then he switched and goes, well, what would Tonya do? And so that's what I want to give y'all insight on today, because it works. Now, what I'm about to tell you is not rocket science, okay? It's called human nature. And the hardest thing about human nature, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the person you're talking to. And that's the kicker, right? Is that we think, coming from the speaking world especially, I know even for myself, I used to push out all the information because I wanted to prove I knew what I was talking about, that that I was the expert, that they would somehow glean from my expertise because I knew all this stuff. But when I stopped and I pulled back, that's when the magic happens. Because if you're going into the conversation with someone to sell them IProNetwork, you already lost. Because you have to look at, how do you like people to talk to you? Perfect example. I had two lovely, very much older gentlemen ring my doorbell. The middle of the day today. I trump downstairs, the dog is barking its little head off, and I'm sitting there opening up the door, trying to get things done, and there's these two lovely men with big, bright smiles. And they got a little brochure, and they start telling me about, their church down the street, and they're going on and on. And I thought, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is a perfect example of not stopping and asking, one, do I even go to that church down the street? What is my beliefs? Am I even open? Do I have time to stand there and talk with the dog barking? Is there a better time for me, right? It was all about them. And that's the way that most people approach talking to different people. So when you start looking at your phone conversation, the conversation at the grocery store, the conversation wherever, it has to be about a human, and even taking it beyond that, now a friend or soon-to-be friend talking to a soon-to-be friend. So how do you talk to somebody? So I do this all the time, okay? Now, first of all, I love eavesdropping, and so does everyone else. So you look at, how do you create an environment around yourself where people can overhear you? Because you will find, especially if you're say in your Starbucks or in the grocery store or someplace that has a lot of people around, if you just say cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, e-commerce, yeah, you can have your own e-commerce website, people listen. And I've gotten so many taps on the shoulder. Hey, can I talk to you about that when you're done? I'm like, sure, right? So always be proud of what you're about to say. So they say that only a very small percentage is in our actual words. Most of it is the way that we appear. Do we feel confident in what we're about to say? Do we feel like we've got control over what we're going to say? Do we feel like this is the most awesome material I've ever known type of thing? Or is it, I'm not really sure, right? Well, I know a little bit, oh, right? The more that it's like, oh, the more they will like, oh, yeah, she doesn't know what she's talking about. So when you start really looking at the opportunity to talk to somebody, look at, hey, George, what do you got going on? That should be your first conversation in a text, on Messenger, right on Facebook, on LinkedIn, you know, you're on the phone call, whatever it is, email, wherever you're starting that conversation with a person, it should be a hello, okay? Be interested in people, right? They always say the more you give people what they want, the more you will get what you want. It works. But in a lot of times when we get stuck in our sales mode, we forget that it's about the other person, that we're there to actually help the other person. And by fortune of that, we get something in return. People know if you've got their heart in mind or if it's just your pocketbook in mind. So stop and smile and talk to people. Now, when you're talking to people, you have an opportunity to now help them. Now, if you look at IProNetwork, it's a massive opportunity. Everything we offer makes people money. So say you're talking to Susie and she's a realtor, right? Hey, Susie, what's going on? Oh my gosh, how's the kids? How's real estate? Oh, yeah, it's kind of tough right now. Well, it should be picking up pretty soon, right? So you're having a conversation. People tell you everything that you ever need to know. Then you're like, you know, you should do some online marketing. Oh yeah, you don't know a lot about online marketing. Yeah, who does, right? So you're smiling, you're agreeing, you're not being confrontational. And then, you know, I've gotten into this company that offers e-learning on how to do all that. Even how to do e-commerce. So if you're trying to sell you know, one of your houses online or something else. Really? Yeah. So it's people like using the fishing analogy, right? If you're sitting in a boat and you're trying to catch the fish, you can't just jump in and grab it, right? You got to plop in that little bobber. And it's so exciting. And then they bite it and it pulls it down a little bit. You're like, but you don't yank. You yank and it's over. That little worm is out of the water and that fish is gone, right? So you put it back in the water, right? And then you bob it again and they ask a little bit more. So whenever you're actually helping them, that's when they bite at the worm. And then you have to encourage them. They're not in it alone. Because a lot of this is like, huh? Right? Oh, I've got to, you know, e-commerce. That sounds really exciting. I like your website. It looks pretty cool. You know, cryptocurrency. Well, I don't know what to say. Or, oh, my friend just yelled at me and said it's a bubble. It's going to burst. What do I do with that? Right? So you've got to be a team player. And they have to see that you're a team player as well, that you're there, that the person that sponsors you is there, that we're all part of the helping hands. That's when the moment that they know that they're in a different scenario. Because I love it when I talk to people about the network marketing part of it. Because to me, I would not be in this if it wasn't network marketing. I love network marketing. Now, how many times have you heard someone say that? Do you say that? If you don't love what you're doing, then how do you expect someone to buy into it? It's a $250 billion industry. What is not to love? Ours is one that goes around the world right now, right? Versus so many that is just stuck in the United States. The United States is only 20% of the marketplace. You should write that down. That's a little bit of information, right? The biggest states in the United States for network marketing: California, Texas, Florida. Do you live in one of those? Do you want to own that area? Time is now, right? We just launched. This is completely open to you. Oh, what do you mean you know somebody in blankety blank blank? Puerto Rico, love it. Let's get Puerto Rico up and going. We could do that right now. No auto shipment? Are you serious? I don't have to fill my cupboard with stuff that I probably won't even use. Huge, right? Unless they have one of the e-commerce stores, there's no auto shipment, right? I mean, it's mind-blowing information because we're so different. What do you mean I could really make money, right? And not have to recruit? Well, you get 100% of the coin back right now. It won't always be that way. Right now, you get the coins at 6.5 cents a coin. On the exchange earlier, it was a lot more than that. So why wouldn't you do it? This is a huge opportunity. So they need to understand about the economy, that this is the new economy. This is the new changing economy. Now, a lot of times people, they're like, well, I just don't see why, Starbucks would need to take it when they have MasterCard, Visa, and Discover. We already use digital currency. What do you think MasterCard is? Do you think that they have your money just sitting there in the actual bank waiting for you? If you said, hey, I want to take all my money out right today, do you think they would let you? Yeah. It would take a long time because they don't have that money sitting there. So you've got to talk to people with a smile, with encouragement, and then you got to listen to them. What is interesting to them? Because if they're like, oh, I've always wanted to own my, e-commerce store, that would be so much fun. Focus on that. Show them examples, right? I was just talking to my fabulous friend, Mr. Peter, today. And so I pulled up my website, right, to show him what it looked like. I pulled up some other examples to show him what it looks like. Show people. Have a little tablet, connect to Wi-Fi, boom, there you go. People like to see that there's something there. Oh, what is the, packages? What do you get at $100? Kind of know a little bit, right? That, oh, wow, you're going to get to learn about marketing and e-commerce and packaging and things that you need to know, because then you can kind of relate that to the opportunities that they were interested in. Oh, you've always wanted to do Shopify. I was literally sitting at Starbucks 2 days ago, and two ladies were next to me, and she was like, yeah, we need to learn about Shopify. I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, hey, got their name. I got their name right here in my book, right? I got to contact them still. So how do you ripple that out? You've got to really understand that you've got to listen to what is their concerns and address them. Now, there's going to be some people like myself, I want to have fun. I want to have a blast, right? That's my personality. My husband wants more details. So for my husband who wants more details, you give them details, right? Until they're all detailed out. Because then they're usually super satisfied. They're like, okay, good to go. Let's go, right? People like me, all right, let's have some fun. Maybe you run into somebody who's like, oh, I've always wanted to lead a group or be a speaker, Well, we need people to do trainings just like this, to do webinars on opportunity presentations, to do meetings, in their local town, to connect with the other leaders in the town, to do bigger groups, right? They could do IProNetwork meetings. They could do little meetings with IPro attached to it, right? Where you're talking about cryptocurrency, and the next week you talk about e-commerce, the next week you talk about e-learning, right? So you can do little vignettes, like a networking group. When you look at the conversations, it's very simple. Hello, catch up with them. If you don't know them at all, who are they, right? Maybe they're the type of person you need to ask. It's always great to have them go first. Never go first. If you go first, you lost, because you don't know how to adjust your conversation. If it's me and you're talking to me and you start getting detailed, you lost me. If you start talking to my husband about your dog and your kids and oh, the trips, and you lost him. So you have to kind of know what kind of person they are, and the only way you know is let them go first. So what have you been up to? What are you doing now? What is, right? And their response tells you how to respond back. If they're like, oh yeah, I've been doing this, this, and this, and they're done, you've got to come back with this, this, and this, because they're a quick moving, I gotta, I don't have time to chit chat type of person. If they're like, oh, and they lean back and they're like, all right, yeah, this is what, cause that means you need to be a little bit more relaxed, right? Oh, that's cool, right? Give me a beer, right? If they're talking about dogs and their cats and their kids, you talk about whatever you've got, right? If they're talking about whatever it is, kind of just match that, because what you're really doing is you're making them feel comfortable. Because people like it when they can connect, and that's what you're doing, is you're connecting to them. Now, there's nothing fake about this. You're really connecting to them. You're just making them feel comfortable by adjusting the way they like to be talked to. I'm sure you have friends that will talk really fast, right? And they just talk. And you just sit there and you just listen. Because some people just like to be listened to. And then when it's your turn, right, get to the point and tell them a little bit more, but follow along with what's important to them. And that's how you find more people to be part of your team. With the opportunity that we have, and being a binary, people miss out if they wait a day. With the opportunity in the coin at the value that it is until next Wednesday, they're missing out if they don't take advantage of it. Now, you let them know what the value is, but it may take them a week to get their money together and send it in, right? And do Payza or send in a cashier's check. So they may be on next week's whatever that value is. So, a lot of times people are like, get really stuck on that 1 cent difference. It's still going to be lower than the week next. So they're still not losing out. But they will lose out if they don't get in, if they don't take advantage of it. Okay? So look at also, how are you finding people? And this is one of the questions that a lot of people have. How in the world did you find all those people? Well, I know lots of people, but this is why people think that it takes someone special to do this business. It takes someone special to have a team. It takes you talking to people. Like I said, I just mentioned something at Starbucks to a lady. I was waiting on another lady, right? So a lot of times it really has nothing to do with how many people on your Facebook page, because a post is just a post. Now, what do you do with a post? I mean, probably every one of you has a LinkedIn, a Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram, some type of Facebook social media platform, right? Most of y'all do. Some of you, I'm sure, is like, not really. But say you have 100 people on Facebook. You do a little post. Now, you can't do any guarantees. You can't use the word investment, right? Make sure you stay legal so you don't get pushed out. Just like with any company, there's things you can't and can't do. So do the things you can do. So no guarantees, no promises, no, oh my gosh, you're going to make $1 million, right? Just keep it real. I like just showing people what my back end looks like. I'm like, yep, this is it. This is how many coins I've got, right? It went from this many coins to this many coins. I just like keeping things really, really real. That's another really important thing. Is don't over exaggerate. You know, you cannot attract people, especially people that really would be great at this kind of business, with silly numbers and craziness. Just be really real. Who are you really connected to? Who is involved in your team? And then when you start taking it beyond that, you look at your Facebook. Let's just take Facebook. You have 100 people on Facebook. You make a little post. And say you've got 5 people who like it. And 1 person comments, oh, that's really neat. All right, the person who just said you're really neat, you need to instant message, or, you know, I am them, right? You message them personally off of the little chat. You can like it, but message them and say, hey, we should chat. Let's catch up. Now, did I say, oh, you need to know about this e-commerce, and oh my gosh, right? And that's what most people do. They go, you gotta, oh, here's someone who's interested, right? And you like freak out, and then you're like, blah. Don't do that. Again, instant message, let's catch up. Then, so tell me, so how you been? How's the kids? The dog? Oh, the dog. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that, right? I mean, you just have a conversation and then you let them know, but you don't just blah. Tell them a little bit, because I know I even today with my friend Peter, I kind of overwhelmed him, and he's like, okay, I'm done, Tonya. Because when we're excited, it's hard to pull us back, right? When we're excited, it's hard to stop. And I totally get it, because I'm totally guilty. So we're not saying anything that I don't do myself, but there is limitations, right? So when you look at your 100 people, anyone who messaged you personally, that's someone you need to catch up with. All the other people that liked it, they liked it. So also message them. It's a great way to filter. Yes, I will use the word filter. Filtering is awesome. Do not just take everybody and try to connect with everyone, because then you're going to get, especially if you're a little tender, and when someone is like at you, you get really offended, or oh, right? Don't do that then. Filter out those people and only talk to the people who may be interested, right? It's an easier conversation. But remember that anyone who says something negative, or, oh, it's a bubble, it has nothing to do with you. It's their fears. It's their insecurities. It's things that have happened to them in the past that they're bringing out. Oh, it's network marketing. Ugh, right? Okay. Say, oh, okay, well, I love network. I wouldn't even be in it if it wasn't network marketing. It has a binary and you get all these bonuses. I am so excited. And I've had people go like, what? I learned from, because we all learn from each other, right? So Michael and Jackie Amers, they're brilliant. And they're just like, oh my gosh, I love network marketing. And they're like all happy about it and everything. And they just had, some people are like, oh, I mean, completely changed their tune about it. And so I started doing that, and it's really fun to watch, because as soon as like, oh yeah, you can make money at this, it's like commissions, you know, it's like a network marketing company, and I see that face, right? Ugh. And I'm like, I know, because I mean, I wouldn't even be in it if it wasn't. It's so exciting that you can make so much money with a team, that we're all part of it, and we're all helping each other. Isn't that exciting? And you just, you know, isn't that exciting? And they're like, what are they going to say? No. Like, you know, you just don't buy into their fears, is what I'm saying. Now, I'm putting together, and I love, and I will share with you, grab that, honey. I will share with you when I'm going to be trying different like posts and things like that, so that I can try it, and y'all too, try different things to see what works. We've put out a couple meetups throughout Texas. Meetup works really well. Now we'd have like 36 people sign up on Meetup, and 12 would show up. All right, so just be realistic. Don't take Meetup for all of its worth. Usually it's the people that signed up early don't show up, the people that signed up that day show up. So that's just kind of the reality of meetup.com. If you don't know what Meetup is, it's meetup.com. So what I was going to do, and I'll share it with you so that you can kind of see one of my approaches, because to me it's about filtering people so that I can find the people who really want the information, and I can avoid the people who like, right? So I've got like a scenario where, did you wake up going ... Why is today the same as 2 years ago or more? Why is it so hard? Right? Because these are things that people are thinking right now. They just came through Christmas, they're starting the year off, and they're struggling already, right? They were expecting this year somehow to be different, and they're still doing exactly the same thing. So let's talk. I'm having fun, laughing with amazing people, all because I decided to make today different and never going back. Stop being tired. Let's have some fun and make a lot of money. And then I'll link to a little video. So you can create little videos and link over to a YouTube channel. It's really easy to do, believe me. If you need any help, I will help you. So if you want to do like a 1-2 minute video, let me know. I can even shoot it on the Zoom. It's very easy. So it's a great way to lead, because then in the video, you're really trying to filter out the other people. So this filters people because they're interested. They're like, oh yeah, I'm ready to change. Because you only want people who want to transform. You don't want anyone that's going to be a whiner and complainer and don't want to do anything, right? So you're going to filter out those people. You're going to filter in the people that you love and they're like ready to change and really make a difference in their lives. And then during your actual little video, then you can tell people, well, we're into cryptocurrency. We're so excited about it. We've got this amazing opportunity. We were doing e-learning and e-commerce. So you can talk to them a little bit, again, filtering them, and then give them how to get a hold of you at the end. Now we're going to wrap up here with the last thing I'm going to give you a suggestion for. Whenever you do anything where you're doing a video or an audio, when you give them how to contact you, say it very slowly so they have a chance to write it down. So if I wanted someone, say, just to call me, then I would say my number one at a time. 512, right? Because you remember, they're having to sit there, grab a pen, and write it down, right? It's an email address. Tonya, just say the word T-O-N, even if you think they know how to spell it, right? Because people are kind of overwhelmed. They're like, oh, and then they're starting to write. And if they don't write it right, they're not going to be able to get a hold of you. And then for those that are a little bit more savvier than that, you can also have it be able to click over to someplace, okay? Again, if you need help, love to help. But beyond that, understand that the more people you talk to, the more lives you get to change, the more your life will change. Every time you have a conversation, you'll get better at having a conversation. I remember the first time I was literally an introvert, and I love showing this picture because people think I've always been this way. So this was me in 2005 at the Leander Chamber of Commerce. Ladies, it was a holiday gala. Yes, this is what I wore to a gala. Introvert. And it took me a long time to get out of that shell and say, this is who I am supposed to be. And it was really hard to go into that Starbucks and force myself to talk to a stranger. But I made a point of doing that because I knew there was no way for me to progress if I didn't force myself to do it. And it was difficult. And there were people, that first time the person's like, why are you talking to me? What? You're like, oh, I love your shoes. I'm like, okay, and then again, you realize it has nothing to do with you and you move on. It has nothing to do with you. It's whatever's going on in their world. It's whatever their fears are when you say cryptocurrency. It's whatever fears they have and the experience that they've had in the past with network marketing. It's your job to make it clear, easy, and fun. So start smiling. All right, I want to see a smile on everybody's faces right now. Yay! When you're on the phone, smile. They can hear that smile through the phone. When you're typing out that email, smile while you're typing the email. When you're doing that Facebook post, smile and just love it. The more you're like, oh, I'm doing this, is the right thing? It will not be the right thing. The more you're like, yes, this is the right thing, the more it'll be a right thing. It's just energy. You're pushing it out, and it's going to feel good because you're pushing it out. But I tell you one thing, if you don't, nothing will happen. Someone is really trying to get a hold of us. So you've got to see, people are ready to sign up right now. They're calling. They're like, I went on. So you've got to look at everything as a positive and not a negative. That every time someone answers the phone, because what happened with those lovely guys who wanted me to come to their church? Yes, that's right. I talked to them about cryptocurrency. And when someone calls me and they're trying to get me to buy something from, Timbuktu, yes, I'm talking to them about cryptocurrency. So just because someone's spamming me doesn't mean I can't spam them back, right? So make it fun. Make it a game. And remember, we've got that huge promotion that they're extending, right? Where you can make another $5,000 on top of all of the other commissions you're going to make. Why wouldn't you want to go for that? You could do it, right? There's people out there that are hungry for change. They're hungry for you, and they are ready for you to change their life. They just haven't heard from you yet. So stop being selfish and keeping all that wonderfulness to yourself, and go out and share and have a fabulous week. All right? Tonya Hofmann signing off. I want y'all to all promise me that you'll put a smile on your face and you'll help somebody new. Today, tonight, and tomorrow, and the next day. Make this weekend like huge. All right, everyone. Thank you so much.